Hey, good morning. On this episode of Home Water Dispatch, I'm in a big echoey lecture hall here at UMass Amherst. I'm getting ready to teach my sophomore level course in fish conservation, and we're at the point during the semester where we've added humans to the mix. I start the lecture or the series, the course talking about water plus fish, and then we add in humans. And it's kind of a depressing module because prior to this, we've talked about pollution and habitat destruction and overfishing and all sorts of really nasty things that humans do to fish and aquatic ecosystems. And today we're finalizing this module talking about climate change. Some call it the big elephant in the room, but it is pretty serious. And so I'm using this episode of Home Water Dispatch to really think about how we talk about climate change in the context of fish and aquatic ecosystems, and the fact that our planet is, the surface area is 71% water, right? And so we are the big blue marble, and so we need to take this stuff seriously. And so there's a ton of objective evidence that shows us that climate change, the climate crisis, is tied to human industrialization and activity, carbon emissions, sulfur dioxides, all these greenhouse gases that we've been spewing into our atmosphere for a century or more, right? Lots of time. And if you objectively look at the way we're measuring carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and you look at our trajectory in terms of warming, there's a pretty strong correlation that's there. But we have to remember that it's not just warming. I often stop people when they say, oh, it's all global warming. Yes, the planet on average is warming up. The waters are warming up. But it's also, there's cascading effects that are influencing the way that warming has a ripple effect, really. It's changing our precipitation regimes. We have an increase in frequency and severity of extremes, from big hurricanes that go from a tropical storm to a Category 5 in 24 hours, to massive droughts, to prolonged, big flood events, cascade, it's all tied together. And then when we superimpose the other things that are happening to our fish and aquatic ecosystems, the habitat disturbance and the pollution and all these things, the dams on our rivers that are controlling flow and nutrients, it has a big impact. And we've seen it coming. And, we need to really take this climate crisis seriously. I can have a very objective hat on as a scientist and look, and as an educator, and look at all of the impacts that are happening because of climate change and the reasons, and the connecting what's happening in the environment in terms of temperature and precipitation and all those things, and what happens to fish, what happens to their ecosystems, and what's happening to our planet. We can make those connections, but we also have to, I'm also a human on this planet, and we also have to have a strong subjective voice, taking that evidence and really thinking about how we vote, the considerations we make about bringing in leaders that, one, believe that there's a climate crisis, and believe that there is no planet B, right? This is our, when we think about, I'm going to go get a fish, hold on. Hey, when I think about fish, right, I think about them and their environment. The water's heating up, the water levels are going down, we have extreme floods. These fish have evolved based on sort of abiotic and biotic conditions over time. And things are changing faster than they can evolve. They were not responsible for climate change. We are, right? And so we need to take responsibility to get the climate crisis under control, because there is no alternative. There is no planet B, that we're seeing these cascading effects. And in addition to getting those other environmental impacts under control, we really have to get climate change under control as well. It seems daunting, but we have to do it. Every vote counts, every personal decision counts. And even if you bring this back to the fish that we love. So I put my recreational angler hat on. I love to go fishing. It saved my life. I love going to the ocean. I love going out to streams, not only just to catch fish and interact with fish, but to be in nature. And that's changing, right? And that, there's personal, this is personal. And if you like to go fishing or you like to go out in nature, then, it's your responsibility to vote in people that give a crap and that can embrace the evidence that's there related to the climate crisis and start to think about pretty extreme policy changes, thinking about institutional parts of our government that are responsible for making those policy changes, thinking about the cascading effect to the way individuals respond to information that they get. Can we bring it in? Can we not create campaigns that breed apathy but breed action? That's what we need, and that's why it's important to also think about how you vote for Mother Earth, how you vote for your home waters, and how you get more informed about climate change. I'm excited of bringing this back to full circle. I'm really stoked to have so many students in this class, and they're not just natural resource conservation majors. I have students from Eisenberg, the business school. I have arts majors. I have language majors that sometimes take the course. And they're interested in the connection between fish, the planet, and themselves. And I really wish more people were able to take this course, to get informed, and then to take that knowledge and become informed advocates and activists for the fish that they love, for the environments that they love, for the environment that we count on as humans, as human civilizations. We rely on a clean and healthy planet and ecosystems, and water is a really integral part of that. So are fish. Yes, I'm biased, but fish are really important integrators of everything we do on the planet, and I will continue to work to convince you and other people that we should care more about fish. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up because students will soon be coming in, and I just wanted to use this episode of Home Water Dispatch to, one, again, circling back, to highlight the fact that it's not just warming, it's climate change. We need to have that nomenclature down pat, and we need to then look at those observations objectively that we're seeing in terms of warming and water cycles and all these other things that are tied to a changing climate that are linked to us, right? That burning of fossil fuels and land use practices and all those other things, we are driving climate change, and we are the ones that can stop it. And so check, I'm probably not going to do another episode in here on climate change, but I'm sure I will find an opportunity to do more about it outside, because I love being outside. I love our home planet. If you're watching this, also make sure to go and vote. If you're not already voting, if you're in the US, vote, cast your vote for the planet, because she's all we got. All right, peace.